Kenny.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello. We are at Japan Blockchain Week Summit.
Mm-hmm.
You were just on stage earlier.
I was, right before you.
Yeah.
Or right after you.
Right after me. So why don't we start with like a little Jiko Shokai? Mr. Kenny, what do you do? What's the deal?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Ken. I work at Mysten Labs, which is a blockchain company based in SF. And they are the original contributors to the Layer 1 blockchain Sui.
Sui, okay.
So Sui is a Layer 1 blockchain that's actually been very popular for the last couple of years. It's been growing very rapidly. We offer a very cheap, fast, and secure network.
Okay.
And I've been there for a couple of years. And prior to that, I was living in New York for about 9-10 years, working in the finance, tech, and the music industries.
Okay, interesting. How did you go from finance, tech, and music to blockchain?
To be honest, blockchain was not the only industry I was looking into, but I was really bought into the vision of Mysten and Sui, and I was looking at them and I was like, oh wow, they're legit. They might go on to be very big in the future, and so I want to be...
what was that vision?
I think they were, so the founders are all from Facebook, and they were building out the Libre project, which was the blockchain project at Facebook, which eventually got shut down by regulations. But they had the vision and they had the right technology to build it on a much larger scale. And so I was really bought into that. And for me, I really like the team, the innovation behind it, and also my role really involves making partnership strategy, as well as investments into various different companies, startups, and that's aligned with what I used to do, which is a lot more strategy, BD, and investments. And so I felt this was the right step for me.
So explain to me, every blockchain has its own kind of transactions per second or technology stuff, but I have a feeling maybe with Sui yes, high transactions per second, sure, but that is for a specific reason, right? Who are kind of the users for the Sui blockchain?
I think the current users, I think Sui is very much known for gaming and DeFi, decentralized finance, but we are actually built for enterprises and on a mass scale. And so we all hope to build this out to a slightly larger audience. I think when people talk about speed and whatnot, yes, we are incredibly fast. We have very, very high scalability, but there's also reasons behind it. For us, I think for Sui, the biggest differentiator is the fact that we use a object-centric model, which basically means everything starts out as an object. If I were to take an example, like, if I were to give a stable coin to you on a usual account-based system, it would show on a global ledger my account of that stable coin going from +1 to 0. And then once that's verified, it goes on to you to show that stable coin account going from 0 to 1, right? Versus for Sui, it's object-based, so basically you look at the object and look who the owners are, and you just basically change the owner from myself to you. It's a one-step process. If I look at it from a more Web 2 way of thinking, like it's kind of like going to a library and say, I have a book that you want to borrow after me. I would have to, in a normal account-based setting, go to the receptionist and then ask them to change, basically give the book back to them, and then they would register that in their systems, and then I'd return the book, and then it'll go on to you and say, hey, you can now get the book. Versus in a maybe object-centric model, the book would just automatically transfer from myself to you directly. And so that's some of the key differentiators and what makes it fast, and as a result, offers incredible scalability and throughput and speed, which makes it really good for all kinds of users.
Interesting. That's a really easy way to understand it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll ask you a little bit of a harder question, which is, are there any downsides to that? Maybe Sui is not supposed to be the blockchain for everyone and everything, but it's supposed to be for specific use cases. Is that what the trade-off is, or? maybe there's not a trade-off and you have the perfect technology.
No, I think like everything has its pros and cons, and I think for Sui or in particular, I think there's a couple of drawbacks in the fact that it uses its own programming language, Sui,
I see.
and so that's different from other EVM models or maybe even Solana or whatever it could be, right? So that's a high hurdle for certain developers. And secondly, I think because we are going for everything, maybe we're not known for one thing in particular, which is a good thing, a bad thing. It makes our messaging slightly harder in the fact that because we can go for everything, it makes it harder. But at the same time, it comes with pros and cons, and I think in this situation, the pros definitely outweigh the cons.
Yeah, cool. So we're both located in Tokyo, Japan. But your team, Sui, is not necessarily headquartered out of Tokyo. I happen to work for Jupiter, and our team is not headquartered out of Japan. What does the Sui team expect from you as the guy in Japan on the ground to kind of do, and what's interesting about the Japan market?
That's a really good question. I think so. In Japan, we have a team of 3, myself and then 2 engineers, and we also have our global head of community here. He just
cool.
He just happens to be based in Japan.
Cool.
Yeah. We have a few people on boots on the ground in Japan. Expectations. I think Japan's in some ways an interesting, unique market, right? Because naturally, big population, people think it's high tech, and so there's a lot of opportunities. But naturally, because digitization is really slow here, the adoption is actually takes some time. And so I think what I've been doing is trying to meet as many people as I can, and try to have a strategy in what verticals we should really go for, in terms of what's the I wouldn't say low-hanging fruits, but like easiest results to obtain in a timely manner while maximizing the outcome. And trying to figure out those industries. And I think in Japan, naturally, gaming is one of the big markets.
Makes sense.
But also maybe stuff like enterprises, especially like companies such as SBI, NTT. They've all been making noise around stable coins as well as usage of blockchain. And so I've been trying to meet with certain folks like that and see how we can make a difference.
I mean, Japan has the 3rd largest GDP in the world. US, China, Japan, which many people tend to forget because it's physically so small, right? And so there's so much strong industry, and so you kind of, as to your point, have to choose like, okay, will Sui, lead the RWA space with real estate on chain, or gaming, or music, or entertainment? That'll be interesting to see.
I think Japan naturally has a lot of opportunity. I think there's 2 big opportunities in the space, in the fact that or in Japan, and the fact that I think digitization is really slow, and there's many reasons for that. Regulation is slow, enterprises are slow to react. I think people naturally, as a culture, prefer processes over, let's say, innovation. And as a whole, right, that makes Japan, if I were to sum it up in one word, Mendokusei. There's so many processes that's really Mendokusei. But as a result of the fact that it is so Mendokusei, that naturally means there's room for efficiency, right? And that's where new technology such as blockchain, AI can really make a difference. It's a bit of a chicken and egg situation because they're slow to adopt, but it's so inefficient. So, it is a chicken and egg situation, but I think there's a lot of room to grow. But also naturally, because of the fact that we have we're a very process-oriented country and culture, that naturally creates, I think, really good craftsmanship, because we're extremely, we're very thorough, have very high attention to detail, and follow processes very well. And so that naturally creates really good craftsmanship and products, right? People really do trust stuff made in Japan. That naturally leads into excellent IP, right? We have, I think, around the globe, I think there's 25 top IPs out there. 11 of them come from Japan, and so that's really testament to, I think, it's craftsmanship, and that, I think, area has a natural crossover between blockchain, where I think IPs want to protect that IP. They want to make sure it's verified. They want to transfer it safely to other people. That I think is an area in which I think has some opportunities.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for that. Do you have any final words? Anything you want to share with the audience before we hop off?
No, it's thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's nice to share this.
Where can people find you online? Do you want to be reached out to? Do you want to stay?
Sure. You can follow me on my Instagram. I'm sure you'll tag my Instagram here and there. And then I sometimes dabble in X. And yeah, I also sometimes play pickleball with these guys too.
Okay, yeah.
So you can follow me there too. Yes.
Play some pickleball.
Yes. Great.
All right, Kenny, thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.